Alright, and welcome Starcraft Nation. This is Venerati bringing you yet another game in between Huck and SjoW right here. It is still Terran versus Protoss. SjoW always spawning as the Terran. He gets the north slot today, and Huck gets the southern slot as the red Protoss. Now, as you know, if you've been watching the other games, the SjoW is up 3-0. Huck, unfortunately, feeling the pain from the SjoW. Huck has really has not been able to answer the SjoW's early game. The SjoW has been keeping a constant harass up on Huck's economy and basically keeping Huck from building up any sort of substantial response. So it's really going to be interesting to see whether or not the Huck switches his game and either tries to do defensive macro build or does like a really early rush, which we did see early zealots from Huck early on in the last 3 games, and they really didn't work out well. So I don't know if he's going to keep up with the same beat or if he's going to do something different. And of course, we've got the SjoW always doing his farm. Hello, Warcraft 3. No. He's doing his supply depot right next to the command center and dropping it down, and we see another barracks going up here. And we see Huck basically doing an economy early on. We've seen this actually every single time, so it's a pretty standard build coming from Huck. We have the assimilator and the gateway coming in here, so I don't know if he's going to try to push an early zealot or try to do stalkers to defend against that that Reaper rush, which of course, as we all know, has been kind of kicked in the nuts. So we do have more of the same, basically. Unfortunately, the very beginning of all of these matches have been pretty similar. And of course, we do have Huck trying to scout out the map, and he's gotten 2 out of the 3 other bases, and it really showed nothing. So Huck knows that SjoW is up here in the upper left-hand corner, but he's just going to go up here and see basically what SjoW is up to. And we do have a Marine on the field already, and the Marine's going to try to bust a cap into the probe. The probe is going to try to evade this and try to recharge his shield. And of course, Huck always the great early on probe harass, and this probe is actually going to get away. And I don't know if we're going to see like a proxy probe or anything like that. No, it doesn't look like that. So the Marine is actually going to start moving down and do a little bit of scouting for himself. We do see a tech lab coming in, and we do see a Reaper. And the Reapers will be able to take advantage of all of this high ground if they so choose. If Huck does not break down this wall, the Reapers would be able to harass any units or buildings right here, which, I mean, the range really isn't that imposing. If he waited until, you could bring tanks into the field, I really don't think we'd see that from Huck. But we actually do see the Marine walking into Huck's base. And the Zealot is beating on these rocks, and the Marine sees the base and is running away because he's seen basically all he needs to see. And we see the Cybernetics Corps cranking out Warp Gate technology. Pretty standard stuff. We do see the Stalker coming in here, and it's going to add its firepower against the rocks. I don't know if we're going to see an early expand, but we do have the Reaper coming over here. And the Reaper is going to investigate and see basically what's going on. And the Reaper's going to see the damage to the rocks and try to get a shot off on the Zealot, but his range is woefully inadequate to actually reach that Zealot. So he's basically loitering and waiting for the rocks to come down. And the SjoW decides to move him away and do something else. And we do have a small army coming up, so let's go ahead and look at the units available. And we see a 22 probe count. There we go again, Terrans. I don't know what game I'm playing, but apparently Terrans have probes tonight. We have 27 probes to 23 SCVs. They're knocking down the rocks just like Huck is doing. And maybe going for an early expand. We have a pylon coming down there. And we do see a robotics facility coming after the 2 warp gates. So, and we do have a 3rd gate warping in. So we're going to see another 3rd gate from Huck. I don't know if he's I really don't know if this is a good call to go for the same thing. Now, who am I to question Huck? Well, seeing the last 3 episodes, he really hasn't had much success. The SjoW has gone for basically the same thing. Yeah, and here again we see 3 racks coming in. We do have the reactor coming out, so we're going to see a Marine Marauder mix, so that the show is not leaving himself naked to air attack. So if Huck decided to basically throw out some Void Rays early on, the show would basically have something to counteract that. And we do have a Marine coming up on the watchtower, and so we do see these Marine and Marauders coming over here to the high yield, maybe going to try to knock down this back door. But the probe is already here to monitor that, so we're not really going to see Huck being surprised by any sort of actions like that. Let's go and look at the income tab right now. And we do see a slight advantage by the show. Of course, Terrans with their mules always able to utilize that burst economy through there. So outpost is always worth, orbital command is always worth getting. And I'm surprised we haven't seen any sort of immortal coming in. We do have the rocks coming down, and we do have a little bit of action right here. This Marine will go down in a pink mist, and the show is retreating right now from this army. This army is actually a little too much for the show to handle. He has a 10 supply advantage right now. So with these stalkers, they do not have blink, but they do have the zealots in front to soak up the damage, and we do actually have concussive shells, but there is no stim pack up, and the Marines do not have any sort of shields, and there is no attack damage upgrade right now. And we do see this Marine totally getting obliterated by these stalkers. He turns into a nice little pile of flesh, and really curious to see where they're going to impact each other, and the positioning, as always, could really make a huge difference here, because with the Protoss manipulation of the battle, they can split this army in half, and we do see that actually the show does get the stim packs there, but Huck does split the force in half with the shield, so these guys are going to die on the ramp. Unfortunately, the show is not able to keep vision away from Huck because of this drone right here, all these pylons down. The Marine and Marauders are going to stim and run away and try to do some sort of backdoor damage to Huck. Although all of these guys are really hard. Look at his health bar. Every single one of these guys, basically, if they are touched, they are going to die. They are being dolls just waiting to destroy. And the Stalkers warn each and every one of these guys. So that threat is basically neutralized, and he's actually pushing into the show's base. We'll see him attacking the reactor and the tech lab. It's a really good call. Unfortunately, he's not actually able to get either one of them. He brings SCVs up to soak up the damage if you have them first attack and report. The Stalkers will automatically target them, and we do see the force will go up to basically block this army, keep them in a choke point, allowing the Stalkers to use their mobility and their range to kill off the Marine units. Now, I really think that Huck should have pushed forward right now, because he does have an advantage in the army size, and we do see the 3 Rex trying to pump out Marines, Marauders, and another Marauder right here. And we do see medevacs coming down to heal up these units, because they are utilizing stim. So if they use stim multiple times without any sort of medevac help, they are basically doing something. Now, we do have Huck utilizing this observer really well, basically neutering the high ground advantage from show. And, of course, we do have Huck knocking on the back door right here, killing the SCVs who try to keep the Zelnaga tower up. And, I don't know, I would feel a scan is needed, but instead he calls a mule down. So, hey, not my call, but I really cannot stand these observers sitting here giving Protoss unfair. No, it's not unfair, but unrivaled observation. Observation, yeah, we're gonna go with that. So we're gonna basically give them basically command of the field. It's basically having a satellite. If you do not choose to bring something, a Raven or a call from the scanner suite, I mean, Protoss go unchecked as far as observers go, which we've actually only seen one observer go down tonight in between the last 3 games. So, oh, and there we go. We do see the show bring down that second observer. That was a good call in my book, and the army is back up to 4. He's actually going to knock down his own back door, looking to cause some havoc, and the show is up by 10 supply. Woo! Dang. He's up by 10 supply right now, and we have Huck warping in more units, so basically evening the odds here. And we're going to have a battle right here, and basically the Huck has split the army in half, and he's going to try to pin this army in the corner. These medevacs are not going to be able to heal enough, and these Marauders are going to go down. He has too many Stalkers with too many shields and Sentinels absorbing that damage. That DPS is going to just wreck their day. And we see some focus fire, and we do see some zealots coming in here to absorb some more damage. Risky call, bringing them in the front of the in the front of the battle, because these zealots will actually take double damage while they're being warped in. So lucky for Huck that the show did not focus fire them, because those guys would have gone down in a hurry. But Huck basically able to ward off that attack. Get another Zerber, basically keeping an eye in the sky on SjoW. Now they're both sitting on two expands. They're sitting on two bases right now. And the income's relatively close. We do see the Terran with a slight advantage, of course, with their mules. It would be fun to see a contested, maybe a planetary fortress right here, but I doubt that Huck would basically give SjoW any sort of time to get that built up. And we see more medevacs coming in. Do we see any sort of, oh, pause it again. Do we see any sort of Colossus coming in here? No, we don't. I'm surprised that we haven't seen any Colossus so far. We do see a drop coming in here with no units nearby, so these Marauder are going to be basically just pillage this mineral line, and they would make Vikings proud right now. We see Zealots and Seekers coming in here. We do see Stalkers coming in with no units. They're going to not really have much success. Very the medevac does go down, and these Marauders are stranded, so the Marauders are going to go down, and they are not going to be able to kill this Zealot. That guy stands for a while. Basically, like a samurai came after him. I guess if you've seen enough Kung Fu movies.